Good morning, kids, and welcome to Science is the Bomb with Mrs. Holderbaum. Remember, scientists like to explore, they like to ask questions. Sometimes they put things together to see what happens. Sometimes they take things apart to see what happens. Today, we're going to be putting some things together to make the color green. So I'm wondering, what makes green? And I've been thinking about this because coming up soon is St. Patrick's Day. And on St. Patrick's Day, it's a day that people like to celebrate by wearing green. So I've been thinking, what makes green? So I'm going to show you today a couple fun ways that you can do an experiment to make the color green. And then I'm also going to read you a little story called Little Blue and Little Yellow. Okay, so let's start with, I have two experiments I'm going to show you. So let me show you the first one. For the first one, you need a coffee filter. You might be able to use a paper towel or a napkin also if you don't have a coffee filter. And you're going to need a blue marker and a yellow marker and some water. I have some water in this little spray bottle. So here's what you do. With your yellow and blue marker, you're going to draw some things on the coffee filter. It's up to you what you do. So I'm going to start with my yellow. So maybe I'll make some yellow lines kind of going around like this. Need lots of yellow, lots of yellow. Maybe I'll also try right here in the middle. I'll just make a really big yellow circle. Okay. Maybe in some places I'll also make a couple yellow dots too. That might be fun. You can draw how you want. Okay. If you don't want to make your lines like that, you don't have to, or you can copy mine. Now I'm going to add a little bit of blue. Okay, so I'm going to take my blue marker, and I think I'm going to try a couple different things. Like, what if I put my blue next to my yellow line? What if I put my blue around my yellow? Or what if I put my blue, what if I put like a dot right in the middle of some of these circles? What would happen? Maybe on this one in the middle, I think what I'll do is I'll put a dot in the middle and I'll go around the edge too. We'll see what happens. I'll draw some little lines. I wonder also on these lines here, what's going to happen if I could make like a squiggly line, or what could happen if I just make some dots? What happens if I put the blue next to the yellow, but it's not quite touching? I wonder what will happen. So you can try a couple different ways. What if I put it on both sides? What if I make a straight line right on top of it? What will happen? So I did a couple different things on here. If you want, you could even put some blue in some places that's not touching the yellow. It's up to you. So you got to decorate your coffee filter with lots of yellow and blue. And then you're going to put some water on it. Okay? I have a little spray bottle of water, but you could also very carefully pour a little bit of water on it, or stick your hand in a cup and sprinkle some water on, like make it rain on there. So now I'm going to take my water and I'm going to spray it in my coffee filter and get it all wet. Really, really wet. Nice and soaking wet. All right. So now we're going to kind of take a look at that and watch it and see what happens. What do you see happening as the water soaks into the coffee filter? I notice it looks like some of the colors are starting to kind of move around as the water pulls them on my coffee filter. Do you see some green starting to appear? I think I see some green. Right there, I see. It looks like as the blue is mixing with the yellow, I'm starting to see some green in those areas. So this is a fun way that you can see how yellow plus blue equals green. The longer it sits, I wonder if more of the green colors will come out as it mixes together. Don't draw on the coffee filter with the markers while it's wet. Only draw on that while it's dry, or it might ruin your markers. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to set this one down. Maybe I'll pick it back up in a minute to see if more green starts to appear. Now, while that's sitting, I'm going to show you a second experiment that if you have these things at home, you could give it a try. Okay. I have some yellow Play-Doh and I have some blue Play-Doh. And I was wondering, will it work if I squeeze it and mix it together? Will that turn green? Let's find out. I'm not going to use all of it. I'm just going to take a little pinch off of each one. So on my yellow Play-Doh, I'm just going to take like a little pinch. Okay. So if you have Play-Doh at home, maybe you could give this a try. Make sure you ask your mom or dad first. Now, I think I'm just going to need a little teeny bit of blue. So I get a little bit of blue. Get more yellow than blue. Okay. So the blue's pretty powerful. Then stick it together and squish it up. And start to mix the colors together. Let's see if we can make yellow plus blue. What is it going to be? Let's see. Ooh, I think I see it. It's starting to change. It's starting to look green. How cool. So I keep on squishing it and squishing it. And wow, that looks pretty green actually. Look at that, you guys. Can you see that? Yellow plus blue is green. Let's look at the color how it used to be. So this is the color the yellow used to be. This is the color the blue was. So now we have yellow plus blue is green. If you want to, you could even try like, what would happen if I added more blue? Will it get to be a darker green, a lighter green? What would happen? Maybe I'll add a little more blue and see what happens. Sometimes scientists, they will try an experiment and then sometimes they'll change their experiment a little bit by adding more of something to see if it changes it even more. Scientists like to try things like that and see what happens. Ooh, looks like maybe it got to be a little bit of a darker green color. Look at that. I like doing that experiment. That's fun. So now we discovered we can make green with Play-Doh. So that's one way. And make sure you put your cover on your Play-Doh when you're done. If you want to save your piece of green, you can, or make something out of it. Okay, so we learned we can make it with Play-Doh. We can also make it up with a coffee filter and markers. Let's take a look at that again and see if it's changing more. I do see a really nice green color right there. I see some green right here where the blue, where it mixed with the yellows, changing a lot. Some places where I just drew the blue, though, I just noticed it's still blue. All right. So now today I'm going to read you a story called Little Blue and Little Yellow. Look at all those yellow and blue dots. Little blue and little yellow. Here's a blue dot. It says, "This is Little Blue. Here he is at home with Papa and Mama Blue. Little Blue has many friends, but His best friend is Little Yellow, so they're best friends, who lives across the street. How they love to play hide and seek and row roses. In school, they sit still in neat rows. After school, they run and jump. One day, Mama Blue went shopping. You stay home, she said to Little Blue. But Little Blue went out to look for Little Yellow. Alas, the house across the street was empty. He looked here and there and everywhere until suddenly around a corner there was Little Yellow. Happily, they hugged each other and hugged each other until they were green. Because yellow plus blue equals green. Then they went to play in the park. They ran through a tunnel. They chased Little Orange. They climbed up a mountain. When they were tired, they went home. But Papa and Mama Blue said, "You're not our Little Blue, you're green." And Papa and Mama Yellow said, "You're not our Little Yellow, you're green." Little Blue and Little Yellow were very sad. They cried big blue and yellow tears. When they cry, their tears come out yellow and blue. When they finally pulled themselves together, they said, "Will they believe us now?" Mama Blue and Papa Blue were very happy to see their Little Blue. They hugged and kissed him, and they hugged Little Yellow too. But look, they became green. Look, when they hugged Little Yellow. Yellow plus blue made green right there. Now they knew what had happened, and so they went across the street to bring the good news. And it looks like Little Yellow and Little Blue hug each other again, and look what happens. They turn green. They all hugged each other with joy, and the children played until supper time. The end. And look at, there's a little green spot, because in this story we learned that yellow plus blue equals green. So let's review some of the things we learned in our science lesson today. So we're experimenting with yellow and blue to make green. So we mixed together two colors of Play-Doh, yellow plus blue, and we got green. And then we drew on our coffee filter with yellow and blue marker. We added some water, and in some places where it's mixing together, you can see green. I can see a lot of it right there in the middle. Give it a try and see what you come up with. If you don't have a coffee filter, maybe you might have a napkin or a paper towel you can try it with. Give it a try and see what you find out. Thanks for watching Science is the Bomb with Mrs. Holderbaum, and have a great day.